Hey everybody, it's Michael from michaelangelocaruso.com, the Present Like a Pro online course and also the YouTube channel. Um, we are in a revolution, ladies and gentlemen, especially in the automotive industry. I don't know if you've had a chance to purchase a Tesla yet or even ride in a Tesla yet, but I had my first experience a little bit ago and I wanted to tell you my impressions. It's an amazing thing that's going on right now in the automotive industry, and it's almost certainly more cross-pollination between energy, for example, and fuel and technology than ever before, which is causing platforms like Tesla Motors to expand and grow and change our world in ways that no other change has ever done. Um, I had a chance to ride in a client's car in Minnesota. I was doing sales coaching in Minnesota, and one of the owners owns a Tesla, and he offered to take me for a ride, and I said, "Yeah, baby." And I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I am not a car guy. I'm the only guy in Detroit, Michigan who's not a car guy. And so this whole Tesla thing had kind of been happening off my radar, and then the top of my head blew off when he was showing me some of the things that are involved with it. By the way, there are a lot of misconceptions about Tesla Motors itself. Elon Musk did not found the company. The company was founded by Eric Eberhard and Mark Tarpenny, and Musk was only brought on in 2004. Apparently, by the way, Eric and Elon have not gotten on all that well. There was some sort of litigation that was settled out of court. Apparently, the two are at peace now, I hope. But it's not Elon Musk's company, even though a lot of people think that that's true. One of the revolutions that I noticed right away when I got into the car is, there's a big war on right now about distracted driving in regular cars, right? Gasoline cars, that you're not allowed to use YouTube and you're not allowed to text while driving. It's actually illegal in Troy, Michigan, not far from here, to text while driving. But when you get into the Tesla, there are no gauges on or dials or lights or anything on the dashboard. It isn't a dashboard. It's all blank. And in the middle of the car, there is a 17-inch computer screen that, by the way, is hooked up to a browser. So you can surf the internet while you're driving. I mean, it's the ultimate in distracted driving. And it's an interactive screen, so you're punching at it all the time. It's like having a TV in the car, right? And more gizmos and rabbit holes for you to go down on this car. And then I thought, well, how do they ever get this past legislation? This is the essence of and the very definition of distracted driving. But if we're headed toward autonomous cars, you're going to wish you had something to do in your car, right? So that was my very first impression was, how are we going to get around the distracted driving thing? But even in the Jeep that I'm driving now, there's a little pull to the wheel if you start to move off the road, right? There are sensors in the windshield that sense that it's raining, turn the windshield wipers on, and even adjust based on how hard it's raining. So more things in automobiles will be done for us automatically, which will free us up to do other things in the car, like apparently surf the internet while we're driving. So there are, at this point, several models of the Tesla. There is the S, there is the Model 3, there's the Model X and the Model Y. One of them's an SUV, but more importantly, S3XY spells sexy. And there are a lot of Easter egg type stuff in Tesla. Apparently, there is I don't know, I'm not a gamer, but there's a Mario Kart reference about Rainbow Road that you can see on the computer screen while you're not doing distracted driving. You can also punch fart noises. How mature. You can punch fart noises that come from different seats of the car. And I can't believe this doesn't get old after the first 1,000 times that you do it. You can also punch 007 into the 17-inch computer screen, and everything, all of the markings on the screen turn nautical, as if you're in a boat. 007, 007, get it? Everybody knows about ludicrous mode. This is this thing that, accelerates very quickly in the car. This is an odd thing because we never had to think before about, what are the ramifications of a car speeding up too quickly? We've thought a lot about what are the ramifications of a car driving too quickly, hence the speed limit. I'm not saying we ever got to common sense about this. Most speedometers go to 140 on roads where you can only drive 70, 75, right? How do you explain that to kids? I never understood that growing up. I still don't understand it. And we know what happens when you stop too quickly because you could get rear-ended if the person behind you is following too close. But we haven't given a lot of thought to the ramifications of what it means to accelerate very, very quickly because we never could before. But because the car's electric, and apparently the technology that's involved, it's a thing now. There's an insane mode, yeah, is that right? 0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds. There's a ludicrous mode that takes you 0 to 60 in 2.3 seconds. And if that's not fast enough for you, by the way, in the Model 3, I did the lowest level of acceleration, and it pushed you back in your seat, man. It gives you attention. Like I've never felt anything like that in an automobile before. And then the third one in the Roadster is 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds. I'm not sure the average person would be able to tell the difference. This is bloody fast acceleration for sure. But it's there now, right? And it's fun. I mean, it makes driving a little bit more interesting. And Tesla has done all of this without the typical trappings of the automobile industry. They've done it with far fewer showrooms, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of fewer showrooms than Ford or General Motors or Chrysler. And in fact, at some point, and these numbers are changing all the time, just like the 0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds is likely to change. At one point, it was actually illegal to sell Tesla in 6 states. Not because the car itself was illegal. Car is rated very safe because of all the sensors and cameras. As one of my friends says, it has more cameras than a bank, which also back in the day didn't have any cameras. But the reason that it's illegal is because these arcane state laws that say that in order to sell an automobile, it must be sold from a dealership, and the dealerships haven't been able to get established in those 6 states. I imagine that the big 3 automotive dealers, manufacturers, are not that interested in seeing Tesla grow. Market share being what it is. And by the way, speaking of market value, Tesla has a huge market value. Some would say way, way overrated, but the point is that they're rated much higher than General Motors or Ford or any of these other companies, with far fewer units in production, far fewer dealerships. It's just bizarre. Again, a revolution, right? Not only did they they didn't invent the electric car, but did they develop the electric car? But they realized that the electric car they would also have to invent gas stations. We don't call them gas stations with electric cars, of course, but there were no places to get your car charged. And if you were going to do any kind of travel, which is what a car was for, you had to have a charging ability outside of your own home. And so they had to invent this map where you could see where the charging stations were so that you could get there. This would never be possible without maps, right? Google Maps or something like this. And because it takes 20 to 30 minutes, I'm told, to fully charge your car, this is not like a routine gas stop where you're gassed up in 5 minutes, you can get back on the road. If you would have to stop 3 times on a trip, you would add at least an hour to the trip. But of course, you don't need to stop 3 times because you can go a long, long distance, and I don't know how much, on a single charge. So again, fascinating. And the charging stations are located at places where you can go get a sandwich or a cup of soup or something I'm not sure how you would get there if you're leaving your car to get charged, but apparently there are places that you can walk, so you're not just hanging around for 20 or 30 minutes to get your car charged. So rethinking all of this stuff to bring the electric car to market in a big way is fascinating. Now, in a car that runs on electricity, there is no engine, right? So where the engine was, there's this blank space, and it's called a frunk. It's a trunk in the front, which doubles your storage capacity in Teslas and most electric cars. And the battery, because there's no engine, there would be no engine trouble, right? Check it out now. So because there's no engine, there would be no engine trouble. That means there's no oil to replace, some oil, some lubrication that needs to be done, but no oil that needs to be replaced. No fan belts, no air filters, no spark plugs, right? Some coolant needs to be looked at once in a while. But in a car where there's no engine, there would be no engine trouble, just battery trouble. And you can swap out the battery for $60 in 90 seconds, I'm told. I mean, you know how long and how expensive it is to replace a water pump in most cars? And so no engine trouble, and you just got to love that. In fact, I'm told only 6 parts need to be regularly replaced on a Tesla. And 4 of those 6 parts are tires. And 2 of those 6 parts are windshield wipers. Amazing. Again, revolutionary. And then my favorite part of the Tesla is this idea, you know, in a regular car, when you press the gas pedal, no gas pedal in a Tesla, by the way, no gas in a Tesla, that when you press the gas pedal in a gasoline-powered vehicle, if you release the gas pedal, you can slow down by coasting, and then, of course, you can press the brakes. Now, this causes a lot of wear and tear on the brakes. But in an electric car, the Tesla in particular, the car slows, see if you can get your head around this, the car slows down by reversing the motor. And reversing the motor charges the battery. You gotta love it, man. Genius, genius. So that was my first experience in the Tesla. I rode the Model 3. In no time, this video will be obsolete because everybody go, Model 3? You know. But it was an amazing experience for me. I got a big treat out of it. And hopefully you're enjoying this revolution as much as anybody else. Listen, my latest blog post at michelangelocaruso.com is on the 15 most powerful words. Check it out. And my most recent podcast interview is with Renee Pothidis, and we talk about her new brand, Eat, Evolve, Inspire. And she talks about getting quality sleep and making food your friend. You know, a lot of people just eat for sustenance. And Renee suggests that food is medicine, preventative medicine. Again, a revolutionary idea. I hope that you're interested in being a better communicator, a better speaker, and if so, let's check into this Present Like a Pro online learning course. It's ongoing, but a lot of people signing up these days because it's a hot new thing, and presentations, of course, are one of the ways that you can advance your career very, very quickly. So, Angelo Caruso signing off for now, everybody. Thank you very much for being on the call with me, and go electric. See you later.